Trump won his own tournament again. Wow, this is the third year in a row he's won his own tournament. Who are the other players in this tournament? I mean, seriously, are there other golfers, or is it just Eric with his Fisher-Price clubs down there? It's preposterous. Remember how much we laughed when North Korean state media reported that Kim Jong-il had 11 holes in one the first time he ever played golf? We're getting pretty close to that.
Yep, dear leader stack. Thank you, Jimmy Kimmel. Oh, hi, Bob. Hi.
Hi. Boy, that golf tournament, man. I can't imagine that he might have cheated or they just let him win like Martin Mull and Mr. Mom. You know,
Isn't that the cognitive dissonance we're all going through now, though? He's literally destroying the world and domestic economy, shattering our alliances, stock market's tanking, people's retirement accounts are gone. And Republicans are like, let's put him on Mount Rushmore. He's the greatest president ever. Let's put his face on the money.
Let's cover the Oval Office in gold.
And literally almost, I don't know if you've noticed, almost all his cabinet people, when they make statements, have to say, he's the greatest president ever. I work for the greatest president. Remember Tom Hoback yesterday? I get up every morning because I work for the greatest president in history.
That's right, Tom Homan. It's baffling. The amount of fealty, the amount of genuflecting before Donald Trump by friends and enemies. It's just incredible. And it's distressing because all at once we're fighting this administration. We're trying to retain whatever's left of democracy. And at the same time, it seems like everyone just can't stop doing everything he wants, just giving him everything as though he won with 500 electoral votes. I'll never understand that.
I'm giggling because I'm having a Bob Cesca happy hour flashback. Remember when we would do the filthy happy hours?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Because I just thought, while they're all doing that to Trump, he's doing it to Putin. And so it's like, remember, I think you were talking about Spider-Man Buki. Remember?
Yeah.
It's
more like, I mean, I guess for the FCC, it's okay to say that it's a human centipede of fascism, autocracy.
What all his cabinet is doing to him, he's doing to Putin at the same time.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway,
Yeah.
okay.
It all rolls down from Vladimir Putin, doesn't it? It goes to Putin, then to Donald Trump, and then, boy, who's grappled to Donald Trump's butt? I guess Elon Musk, and then maybe J.D. Vance is after that.
That's the moment I had to turn to Chris and say, what's Boo?
What we had to explain it to you on the show.
Okay.
Yeah, it's pretty gross. I've never actually seen it, but I've heard about it and I've seen the memes. So
there are videos you can watch if you want to, get an idea.
No, thank you. No, it's okay.
I don't leave my house. Okay.
No, just the
Bob.
real world is frightening enough. I don't need to see the actual human centipede.
So, Bob, we keep talking about, the whole, we are in it. We are full on in. We are balls deep in a constitutional crisis. Speaking of,
yes, we are.
cocky.
Right. And it's, by the way, it's not just the one ruling. It's not just the one decision by Judge Boasberg. There's another decision regarding, I believe it was a Brown University professor who's also a kidney transplant expert. She was deported despite a court order saying that she could stay. And then there's another court order about FEMA grants that they're also defying.
Yeah.
Right in the middle of natural disasters. No one's talking about, by the way, no one's talking about the fact that Donald Trump hasn't stepped foot anywhere near any rubble since he's been president. And, we've had a couple of weeks of disasters that he could have solved.
He was golfing and tweeting about winning his stupid golf tournament. By the way, RJ said Trump gutted NOAA. NOAA used to issue tornado warnings. No warnings were issued this weekend because of lack of staff and resources. 42 people died in the South and the Midwest. Their deaths are on Trump's hands and the hands of his supporters. Don't see any coverage of that. Suddenly, and by the way, it was the same thing, high winds that we had out here in California, but suddenly it wasn't, I don't know, DEI, Gavin Newsom's fault, whatever, right?
Yeah, no. He's not doing anything about any of that stuff. Everything that applied to previous presidents no longer applied to Donald Trump because of aforementioned human centipede. You can't defy him. You can't say anything mean about Donald Trump. Otherwise, he's going to yell at you on Truth Central.
I mean, just the whiplash, Bob, when he's like, it should be illegal to criticize judges. It should be illegal. This radical left lunatic judge that was ruled against us. I mean, it's like, okay. There's
Yeah,
no.
this is mentality that the more chaos there is, the more it's going to shake all the dirt out of the government or whatever. I don't know. There's just some sort of bizarre theory that allowing this clown to indiscriminately tear down American democracy is somehow going to, between the first part of the plan, then the second part of the plan, which is the big question mark, and the third part of the plan is going to be, oh yes, everything is going to be great on the other side, and it's not working. It's not going to work out. That way.
You highlighted she was on her way to an emergency checkup when ICE nabbed her. Among many ghoulish stories, this is easily the most ghoulish story of Donald's first 100 days. Everyone who supports his mass deportation shares responsibility for it. I assume you were talking about the little girl recovering from brain cancer.
Yeah.
Right. She was on her way to an emergency doctor's appointment because she has brain cancer. And Tom Homan's ICE, Tulsi Gabbard's ICE decided to go in and just deport her with her family. And now who knows where she is. But she's not getting the treatment she needs. And it's just an utter tragedy. The inhumanity of this administration is beyond measure.
Because you complete me, and I don't know where I start and you begin. Of course, you have the same thoughts just on Schumer and Democrats, and we keep saying I don't want to name call him, be mean, whatever. He's just not the man for the moment. He's just not. No. I mean, unfortunately, I feel like his defense, it just looked as weak as the caving itself. I mean, and you highlighted new NBC news poll says Democratic voters are done with weakness and capitulations from congressional leadership. By the way, you highlighted David Axelrod had said, while I care about the USA as a former ambassador, that's not the hill I'm going to die on. By the way, so then you post the Washington Post poll, 58%, 59% in two polls oppose dismantling the U.S. Agency for International Development. Time to ditch cowardly Democratic consultants. Thank you. It's just we're in a different time with a different or no rule book, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it's good that you put the Schumer story together with the David Axelrod story, because I think people like Chuck Schumer are still listening to people like David Axelrod. And it's old school thinking. It's outdated, archaic thinking. And it's no better evidenced by the fact that in early February, David Axelrod was like, no, we shouldn't be defending U.S. aid because foreign aid is unpopular with the American people. Well, SpongeBob seconds later, February or March 5th, this poll drops, Washington Post Ipsos.
Yeah.
It says, 60% of the American people support U.S. aid and want it to continue, and they're opposed to the cuts that Donald Trump is making to it.
Yeah.
Completely flying in the face of what David Axelrod said just 30 days earlier.
Well,
so that shows you how out of touch they are.
You made another great historical point, Bob. You said voting yes on cloture, allowing the CR to proceed to passage, and then voting no with even that vote when it'll pass anyway with 52 or 53 Republican votes is essentially I voted for it before I voted against it. This is about as convoluted and weak as it gets. No win, makes zero sense. And you just said I voted for it before I voted against it has historically been a losing position for senators. Really? I mean, it's just, it was the about face that we were all like, yay. We literally closed the show, whatever day that was. We're like, yay, Chuck Schumer. Yeah. We're going to hold the line and stand firm. And then the next day, we're all like, right. Yeah, exactly. Sad trumpet.
Ask John Kerry in 2004. Get in your time-traveling DeLorean, go back to John Kerry's campaign in 2004, and ask him how well that turned out. The I voted for it before I voted against it item, which, by the way, is legitimate in some cases. I mean, let's be honest with it. It's something that often happens in Congress, but the problem is that as it's so visible in a time of the harrowing desecration of American democracy, it's no time for that kind of waffling and flip-flopping and parliamentary procedure and it doesn't make any sense. It comes off as weak when we need strong leadership. And I think the idea that Americans want, or Democrats at least want, bipartisanship is way outdated as well.
Yeah, as we need to go, as my boobs are telling you, balls to the walls. We need to do what Tim Walz is doing. Yes. Go out to town halls and listen to people and make our case.
We need wartime leadership right now.
Yes, wartime consigliere. That's what Charlie Pierce said yesterday. Yep. I mean, Bob, it's I think that's the thing is like where you look at the polling. Like we were talking about Russia, which we'll talk to Malcolm Nance about. I mean, I can't remember what poll I saw. Like 6% or whatever Americans trust Putin. I mean, the vast majority stand behind Ukraine. Like just all of these issues, people are on our side. And
Right.
you know, yeah, I mean, you said Elon is making a classic blunder, making the loudness of MAGA for a sustainable volume of new customers. Not only does MAGA constitute a relatively small number of Americans, but they've been conditioned to hate electric cars. Now both sides, MAGA and pro-democracy America, hate Tesla. Smart.
Yeah.
I mean, this is supposed to be the other genius businessman, right?